Does ether mean like... Okay, yeah. The ether is like the other side or something? Or like...
Ooh.
What is ether?
Ether. Into the ether. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's like that otherness, kind of.
Okay. That otherness we don't quite understand.
Right.
That 90% of the universe that we don't really know what it is, but it's there because we can kind of like generally see its presence. It's like when you like you're looking at a hot girl's butt and she can see it's the same force, the dark forces, the dark energy and the dark matter coming together with your eyelight.
I swear to God, girls got eyes on their butts.
Butt eyes. Mr. Potato eyes on their butt. Put one eye on the butt, one eye on the head. Make the other eye up.
But yeah, it's one of those things, talking about like the guy jumping. So, like I was reading the Meditations, Marcus Aurelius, like Roman emperor, and he was a Stoic philosopher, so he just kept like a diary to himself, wrote a lot of memos. One of his notes was just talking about death, and again, it's a natural process, so it's nothing to fear. And so, I'm wondering about that guy jumping out the window. Again, it's like we fear death because we know he died, but we don't know anything beyond that. That's where our knowledge stops.
All right, fair. I can't argue with that then. You're right, and that's the other thing that with religion and me, no one in the history of the world will ever know. For sure. No one can ever know. Yet we spend so much time deliberating and debating and building and monetizing and spending and praying and lashing and whipping and apologizing and crying and fighting and over what? Over disagreements and the bullshit that comes out of our mouths, that dribbles out of our mouths, and the differences, the subtle differences in the bullshit that we remembered that dribble out of someone else's mouth, that we now dribble down out of our mouths to other people who are one day going to dribble that shit out to other people. And that story in and of itself is lost, and the story in general in the beginning probably had so many good, like, uses that it was so useful to, like, in a way to humanize society in a way that they were sort of sheepilish at a time when it might have been necessary. But I think we're growing out of that. I think humanity's finally maybe growing out of the idea of religion as a cute story that we have to live our lives strictly by, and instead kind of looking at the facts and using those facts combined with gut and instinct to try to find what is important and why we're here. And that's really what we're all trying to figure out, right?
Yeah.
We're just trying to figure out why we're here and try to experience the best life that we can.
You would think that things are moving that way. That's what it seems. It's like people like Neil deGrasse Tyson are always on TV, and people are talking about the cosmos and how everything is bigger than us. But I just think the human ego, it's like, it's too our ego, I think, is too fragile to accept, stuff that isn't like the religious stories. Because if you accept, like, Christianity, you were made in God's image, and again, it's like that you're a special kind of thing,
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's really the polar opposite, I feel like, of how it actually is, really. I was weirdly today, I was trying to digest what my beliefs were. Like, what I actually believed based on all of the things that I've experienced, primarily in hyperspace. Because that's really, I think, the most important experiences of my life are the ones that happened within the other real, and trying to digest those. And I just remember having thoughts while on certain fungi of just, like, this is it, and, like, this can't be all of it, because I've only, like, all that I've seen and all that I've done, I've only seen, like, a tiny slice of whatever can exist within your mind, which is fucking a lot. Oh man, so much. And I feel like when you are incidentally afforded opportunities to detach yourself from your present reality brain, that's kind of when you actually begin to see the light, or whatever cool shit it really is. It seems so dumb. It seems so dumb hearing about it, like, as a kid and stuff, but then actually seeing things that were so geometrically perfect. Like I said, didn't do well in geometry. Asked my geometry teacher. But just so much symmetry, so much color, so much vibrance, so much moving and shifting, and all of these things I had no part in physically, that I was aware of consciously. But something in my brain was making the inside of my brain see that. And those are the kind of things that, like I was an atheist before all these experiences, and like I didn't exist in things that I couldn't see and couldn't hear, but then I saw things and I heard things that I couldn't explain while utilizing entheogens, and it just made me think about just the brain's power in general, and just it's how it is essentially a receiver, like a radio receiver. You can change the frequency that your mind vibrates at and experience and absorb new information. And like I said, there are plants, there are fungi on this earth that were put here for us specifically to use to traverse these levels of consciousness and explore and experience our own consciousness. But putting laws on these plants and fungi restrict the exploration of our own consciousness. And if we're not in charge of our own consciousness, who is and why?
Yeah, wow.